Hey guys, Pete Bidwell here. Just got back to Ibiza. Had a long weekend in London. Lots of travelling around, and well, I was on the radio on Thursday night on Hoxton FM on Dan Cat's radio show, so you can catch that on my page. And I'm also on a TV show called Happy Tech TV. I think that's going to be out in a week or so, but I'll post that whenever it comes. Anyway, I've just got back and I just wanted to set my equipment up, so I'm just going to put the GoPro to record and do a time lapse of that, and you can just watch me as I do it, and I'll talk you through whatever I'm doing. I've literally just got back home from the airport, so I'm just setting this GoPro up now, and then we'll get going. Okay, perfect. Right. Cool, right. First of all, I'm going to start with the mixer. The heart of the operation. So I got a chance to take this back to the UK this week. It's the PLAYdifferently Model 1, and had it for a few months, and I've been testing it and playing with it here, and I know it was great to actually get it into a live situation and, you know, push myself to use it, because I've been using a Zone 92 for a long time. And then I bought this Rain MP 2015 last year because I wanted to try out the rotaries, and I like the workflow, but I'm a fader guy really, so I think I'm going to sell that, and oh, just go with this instead. So MAGMA actually were very kind to give me a bag. It was actually for that, but as I'm not using that one, I'm travelling with a MAGMA bag. So yeah, check out MAGMA stuff. It's really good stuff actually. I've got another bag from MAGMA. They sent me a bag for my push, and the gear is excellent. It's just really protective. So if you're looking at getting stuff to protect your gear, definitely look at MAGMA because it's awesome. First things first, power supply. Let's take this off. I didn't know what I'd need when I was at the station. I didn't know if they had any spare cables or whatnot, and that's a great tip actually if you're going anywhere. Just make sure you've got loads of extra stuff with you, because for me I like to have everything that I use to play with in front of me, so you've got to think, how am I going to connect that into their system or whatever, you know, so just be prepared. So I've got this really nice thick RCA cable with a couple of gold jacks, that just in case, you know, and that was, I actually didn't use it in the end. I was going to, they plugged it in, but it didn't, we didn't need it in the end, so, but you just never know. So yeah, good tip. if you're interested, this is the RIMOWA pilot cabin trolley. It's got 2 wheels, so the thinner one. It's accepted on most airlines, so it's really good actually. You can get loads of gear in it, but it's also really protective, and you don't have to drag it because it's got wheels, so you don't have to carry it. I always take a British or a UK power block with me because I've got all my stuff to plug in, but all my stuff is English anyway, or UK. So I have to take one of these with me, and I just, here when I'm in Spain playing or anywhere in Europe, I just put a European adapter on the end of it. All my stuff's UK anyway, so yeah, good tip if you are a digital DJ to carry one of those. But that's just for my DJ stuff, I don't actually need it here because I've got a big one down there that I use. This is a bag that I just put all my cables in. It's really handy to keep all your cables in one place. Even a pencil case or something with a zip on it, I can just chuck all my cables in there nice and neat, and they're all in one place then. It's a really handy way to keep them, and hopefully they're a bit more protected than they would normally be. This is a Zone K2 controller, comes in its own case. Really handy actually. I did have the tractor controllers. I had one of each of them actually to try out, and I used to use them at Cafe Mambo or wherever I was playing the first couple of years I was in Ibiza, but I didn't really like the workflow with them. I didn't feel that I was using like all the potential. The X1s on the other hand, they're very, very good. I really enjoyed using those, but I found them really difficult for me to map with Ableton, and my mind doesn't really work in that way, and I found it a bit of a challenge. So I got these Allen and Heath ones. I had them already, I just never used them, and I just mapped them myself, which is a bit tricky, but at least they work with both softwares. So yeah, and now I'm using this. It kind of all goes together, which is great. But I had those a very long time and I never used them. I had them just for Ableton, didn't use them for Ableton, but I kind of, play with them a little bit. And then for the DJ side of things, I had, one each of the tractor controllers. I think I had an X1, the Mark 1, and then I had an F1, and then I bought an X1 Mark 2. And at some other point I had a Z1 for like, small gigs or, just trying to think now. Like corporate work and stuff like that. It's great because I had a sound card in it, so I didn't need to take much gear. But if you've got all of that stuff, it all works great. But I don't know, there's something about it. Didn't like the feel of it as much. I prefer the feel of this gear, so I didn't use any of those anymore. I mean, I did try them for a good season or two, so it wasn't like I didn't give them a go. I gave them a good go. I gave my tractor controllers a good full season. I was in 2014. I was at Savannah 6 days a week, Mambo 1 day a week, and Sushi Mambo in the evenings a few days a week, and then we did Saturday nights at Savannah Backroom, so there was a lot of playing on those, and yeah, just after the season I just stopped using them and tried to get into this, and I've been using these ever since. So what's that, 2.5 years now I've been using these. Prefer them, but it's just personal choice. The great things about these though, they've got a sound card built into them, which I like, so you could just do one gig, even if it was a small gig, you could just do a gig with that. You wouldn't need all of the extra setup. You could plug that into a sound system, you could have 4 decks running, or even just 2, and you could just do a very simple gig with just that, and a computer. It's quite a versatile thing really. And also you can like chain them together with the X-link here. So you've got a LAN cable, you can just join them together. I think you can join 4 together, I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, Zone K2. They're quite old now, but still selling them. Just because gear's old doesn't mean it's bad, that's the thing. Right, what's next? I'm not really doing this in any particular order, I should be really. I use these old Tractor X1 boxes, these cases, as storage for more cables and power supplies. I want to try and think of another way of storing this stuff really. I mean, this is a great way to do it because actually these controllers will end up standing on here. But there's a lot of empty space in these, and that's something I want to look at. I'm not really happy with it like that. So take out what I need. Always have some spare stuff in here. I carry plastic bottle tops, and in the summer here in Ibiza, if you're playing outside, I found that the computer gets very, very hot, especially if you're starting in the afternoon, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You might be playing like outside or on a terrace or something. And I've got these plastic bottle tops purely to sit my computer on, and it's such a simple idea, but it actually really works. So yeah, and a spare USB cable, because you never know when your USB cable will let you down. So yeah, another good tip. Right, what have we got next? Oh, I always carry a towel with me. You never know, when you're DJing, you get really hot. It's always great to be able to mop your brow, because it does get hot, especially in a nightclub or in a small radio studio in Hoxton in London, and there's no fan in there. It's very hot. So another Tractor an X1 case, another Tractor case, and I keep my sound card in that one, just to protect it really. I could just wrap it in the towel I suppose, but I've got these, so why not use them? And I just have everything all in one place. And that's really handy. It stretches the edges a bit, but protects that, and that's the valuable piece, isn't it? So more interesting to look after your gear, I think, and to worry about what the case ends up looking like. But these are excellent, really, really great cases. They're so rugged. They've got feet on them as well, but they're really strong. Yeah. I haven't got a bad thing to say about any of the Tractor stuff actually. It's always really good. That's the MAGMA one. I think DJ gear and DJ cases these days are pretty good. In the old days when I used to use vinyl, I went through so many record bags. All the wheels would fall off or the handles would break, but that's happening less and less now. Right, so second controller. Headphones, got Sennheiser HD25 aluminiums. If you're going to get a pair of these, make sure that you get the aluminium ones. There are some other ones that Sennheiser sell. I think they're called the Emperor, and they come in blue and silver. They're not the same. They're for like iPods and iPhone use. And I think they're different. I think they're different ampage. But anyway, these are great, and these are they're very expensive. But I was going through a lot of pairs of headphones, and these seem to be the most rugged ones I think I've ever bought. And if I'd have only bought Sennheiser HD25s many years ago, I probably wouldn't have had all the trouble that I've had with other brands in the last, well, 10 years at least. First I had Sony 700s, then I had Pioneer HD 1000s, then I had Technics, whatever they are, 1200s, and all of them just fell to bits, and they're all plastic and they're all rubbish, and they just fall to pieces. And these ones, well, I've not had any problem with them at all. I think I bought them in 2014 maybe, or something like that, so I've had them quite a long time. But all the others, they last 5 minutes and then they just fall to bits, or they crack, or they, yeah, so yeah, definitely look at Sennheiser HD25s. You don't have to go for the aluminium ones. I just preferred the weight of these on my head. I wasn't used to the small ear cup initially, but you get used to it quite fast, and yeah, I kind of like them. I didn't for years. I fought against it. Lots of people that I knew had them, and I was like, no, not for me. Never going to buy them. Too small. I want something that covers my ears. And yeah, well, they were all right, weren't they? So I was wrong. Okay, so plugging in a few cables. So I just use one USB cable for the 2 controllers, and then have a LAN cable that goes into, and daisy chain them together. So that's that. And then one of my zone boxes I use as a stand, actually, just to rest the push on, so it's up at an angle. You don't have to. You can have it flat, I suppose. But it's just nice to be able to see where you're working. So, the Model 1's got a really nice power supply actually. I've never seen one before. It's kind of like a lockable connector. It's really good. I guess it's on other types of gear, but I've only ever seen the sort of normal kind of kettle lead type thing, but that actually goes into the transformer. So yeah, and actually on this mixer there's 2 power supply ports, so you can they say power it on 2 different power sources, so that if there's ever a power cut on one of them, the other one will still work, which is a pretty good idea, I think. Right. Let's try and be a bit tidy with all this lot, because it's staying set up for a little while till the next time. And it makes it easier to put it all back if I know where everything is. Yeah, I've literally got a big 8-port surge protector here, down here. It's already plugged in, so I just plug everything into that when I'm at home. Don't need to travel with that, it's too big. Alright, what next? Sound card. And power supply for the sound card. I used to use Serato, and I went through a couple of different sound cards. Had the first ever one, I think it was called the SL1. But it was a different shape, it was bigger and it had like a microphone hole in the front of it. And then I upgraded it after a few years to an SL3 when that came out. So that I could then mix 3 decks or 2 decks with like, you know, like a 3rd channel, which was quite cool. And the thing I loved about the Serato sound cards was they didn't need powering. And that's something that's kind of annoyed me for a long time about the Native Instruments stuff, but obviously it's really important. So you don't take so much power from your computer. So it is a bit annoying that you have to plug in another thing, but there's a reason behind it at least. So, and at one time I'd like to upgrade this for something else, but when I've worked hard again to save some more money. Right, so that's that plugged in. I always carry a jack to RCA cable for recording, and especially now with the Model 1, there's no record out on the back, the old sort of fashion style, with an RCA connector. It's actually a mini jack, so you just plug it in the top, and then I put the other end into my Audio 10. So that's also good. I know you can't see what I'm doing here, but it's pretty straightforward. Red in red and white in white. Or red in red and white in black in this case, I think. I think it's black on the back. Always carry so many of these cables. I've always got extra ones as well. Because, and this is something this is the next upgrade I'm going to do. I'm going to buy some really good cables. I've seen lots of big DJs playing with a specific brand that I'd like to get. So that's the next thing. Yeah, I think we forget about cables and how important they are. Some people, like myself, just using these rubbishy old things. So, need to do something about it. Right, that's that one. So the first, I'm just going along the mixer basically, how I like to set up and play. So the first cable I plugged in was from the front of the sound card, and it's going into the left-hand channel, and I use that channel on the sound card for my Ableton, so I can have some push going on in the background in one channel, so I can layer some drums over my DJ set, which is quite cool. And then plug the other cables in one by one. So I'm just using 5 channels on this mixer at the moment, but I would like to start plugging other things into it. You can have 8 things plugged into it. It's got 8 channels, so 6 fader channels and 2 return channels, which is quite cool if you're plugging any instruments in or anything like that. Just come straight through this, which is awesome. Again, it's pretty straightforward, you probably know what you're doing as well, but red in red and white in white. Left and right. cables because one might be longer than the other. Don't like to put too much pressure on them. I like to be a bit of slack. Not too much, but just a little bit. Oh, this is too short. What am I doing wrong? Those two, those marginally longer for that side. Work out in the end. It's different when you set up at home and when you set up in a venue. I've only got limited space here in this this place, so that's the reason I'm just having trouble with these cables, because I want to set it up in this way. The other day in the radio station I had to stand the sound card up because I had limited table space, but there were sort of like pockets of space for other things, so yeah, had to adapt a bit. But here I'm just trying to have everything like laid out. I'll post a picture in the comments actually when I finish this, so you can see. See what I'm going on about. That last one. So that's all connected. That's plugged in, that's switched on. And now we just need to plug the speaker in so that we can get some sound out. I've just got a speaker just down underneath my table. I've got some monitors over there, but I don't use them for this. Just for DJing, I just use I've got an old JBL Eon 10, and it's rock solid and sounds alright. So just use that. Bulletproof. So you can take it anywhere, but not to a gig, not unless you needed a monitor. If you were doing like a little party or something, it would be a great speaker. It's only 10 inches, it's just under there. It's good. But yeah, on my studio side, on my desk, I've got a couple of Genelecs over there. I don't really use them for this sort of thing, but they sound amazing. Little ones. What are they called? AT20A, I think. Yeah. They were in boxes for such a long time. I didn't have all my stuff set up. When I used to go between London and Ibiza, before I actually moved here, and it's good to have a base, you can have everything, but then 6 months here and 6 months there, and find it difficult when you're looking for places to live in London all the time, because I was okay here, I was living kind of under the same landlord, but in London it's not quite the same. I was moving out and moving back in again, so yeah, I didn't really have my stuff set up. It was easier when I moved here. So I'm just plugging now, I've got a USB hub that's powered, and just to plug my MIDI controllers in, so the Allen and Heath Zone Tech K2s, which is on one USB and then linked together with a LAN cable, and then the Ableton push also needs power, so it's got a power supply as well, so I just plug that into the powered USB hub. All this stuff that's powered of course needs more power supplies, but it doesn't draw the power from your computer. So, like I said, it's a pain to carry the power supply with you, but you don't want your computer kind of struggling during playing. So, better to just carry it with you. Okay, we're nearly there, guys. Okay, so I've got my laptop here. I'm only just using a MacBook Air. It's pretty old, it needs to be changed. It's getting slow. It's mid-2011 MacBook Air, 4 gig of RAM, 1.8 gigahertz processor. So it's okay for DJing, just about. But if you're doing anything else with it, like in Ableton, trying to produce or anything, it's a bit challenging. So it's time for a new one. So all of this kit gets plugged in, and when I go away I just unplug my power supply because I don't like to keep things plugged in while I'm away. We have these funny twisty power supplies here in Ibiza. I don't really know why, but maybe it's so kiddies can't put their fingers inside, I don't know. But you have to kind of put it in and twist it to go in, and I can never do it. Ah, brilliant. And now I've just broken my English to European adapter, trying to get it in. So I need another one of those. Broken. That can go in the bin. Good job I got another one, isn't it? Hopefully I will be more careful with this. Right, that's in. That is in, and then I just plug my UK plug into that. Right, we're almost cooking on gas. I've got lights now. You can't see anything, but the push is just lit up and it says push. And the sound card is flickering away. So now we turn the mixer on. And good tip, guys, turn your speaker on last, yeah? Otherwise you're going to get a nasty sound. And turn it off first. Speaker on last, off first. Good tip. Got some good tips today. Why is that not working then? Because it's not plugged in, people. I actually really enjoy doing this. take my time, no rush, make it all look nice and neat. And it's also a good way to check your gear as well. You know, see if you've got anything that's needs replacing or whatnot. I'm just trying to find the hole in the back of the speaker. There we are. Right. That's switched on. That's all plugged in. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. Computer's now got power. So I just plug my sound card in. Good tip, actually, another one. Always plug your sound card straight into your computer. Don't rely on, you know, like USB ports, powered USB ports for your sound card. I've done it in the past, I've tried it, but I don't recommend it. Just go straight into the computer. So one more cable, and that's the USB from the computer to the powered USB port. And then everything on the Zone K2's lights up. We've got blue lights on here to say that these things are plugged in. So now we just have to turn the computer on. And we are nearly ready to go. So obviously we have to open Ableton. I'm going to do that first. And then I open Tractor. One thing I didn't do, now Tractor's telling me, can't find my music, and that's because I carry my music externally, because I take my whole music collection everywhere with me, and I back it up, but the backup's here. So my iTunes, although my computer sees my list, the actual music's not in there, it's in here. So I have to plug it in order to get any music. Right, push is lit up. What's happening here now? I was due to play at the radio at Hoxton FM on Thursday at, well, the show was 9 till 11, so I was playing the last hour, you know, interview and then playing for a bit. But I got there before, and I like to get there before. I don't want to be stressed when I'm setting my gear up. I don't like to set my stuff up in a mad rush. There's nothing worse than, you know, feeling stressed before you play. I'd much rather, you know, set my gear up and it's all ready for me to go and play at, and then go off. I did a very short meditation at the studio, just 5 breaths, but I would have done more, but I was being interviewed, so I didn't have time. So yeah, I like to be very relaxed and know that everything's working. Give it a quick test, which is basically what I'm just doing now while I'm talking to you lot, if there's anyone there. So, plug this lot in. headphones so we can hear what we're doing, monitoring wise. Speaker's already plugged in. Switch done. Okay, so push. I've got a template just for my drums, whichever ones I like to use, and it's in my open recent set list, and I just call it DJ Setup. So if you use Ableton, you'll know what I mean. And it's basically just a case of pressing play. Obviously you can hear that in the computer, but I need to tell the computer to send it through the sound card. So this is, you know, why I like to. Right. That was the last time I played. Finished my set with claps and rides. So that's why all that noise was happening. So yeah, in live I'm just going to preferences and telling it to find the Tractor Audio 10 for the output. So now the music's stopped. It's coming through here. I can see a signal now in my my mixer. There's a filter in there. Right, turn that down a bit. Right, so we know that that's working, that's good. So we can take the preferences window away. Now we can open Tractor. Now the music's connected, we can open Tractor properly. Takes a little while. It's because I've got such a big library, it takes ages. So we are getting there very slowly. Something about a fader I love. If you're a fader guy like me, you'll know what I mean. Something about them. There's no crossfaders on this mixer, but for years I've not really been using the crossfader anyway. So I didn't miss it. And especially as well, because I got this Ray MP 2015, there was no crossfader on that either. But, you know, with the Zone 92, I rarely used it. Excellent mixer, really, really good. If you're just starting out and buying equipment and you're not really sure which way to go, I definitely recommend trying to buy a second-hand Allen & Heath mixer, even if it's a 62 or a 92, a Zone 62 or Zone 92. The 92's got a few more options, but they're very similar mixers, and they're great mixers to start out with because these sound so good and they're rugged. They're built to last, and they're from Cornwall like me. So yeah, definitely Allen & Heath is a good way to go. Right, so just going to choose something that I've already played before, and do a loop. So this is why it's good to test, because I pressed the loop button then and nothing happened. So this is why it's good to set your stuff up in advance of playing and give it a quick test. And there we are, the loop button's intermittent. So what's going on here? It's probably this USB hub, which is something I need to replace, and that's something that is on the top of my list. I bought this thing from eBay and it's rubbish, honestly. So I found a great couple of options that Ian Golden from DJ Tech Tools recommended, So that's the next purchase actually, because I've noticed that this thing is rubbish, because I'm pressing my loop button and it's not doing what I want it to. Audio coming through Tractor, which is good. So I just all I do now is I just you know, copy these across just for testing purposes, just so I've got the same just the same audio in all 4 channels basically. So I can see a lot, I can see a signal in my mixer, but I'm just, you know, giving it a test, making sure it works, having a listen. Yeah, and I can hear all the channels in my headphones as well, so that's working, they're working, that's working, this is working, these are working, we're ready to go. And that's the steps that I take basically, just when I'm setting my gear up, making sure everything works. I was never a DJ that just turned up to a gig with a USB stick or an SD card. I've got friends that do. I went from vinyl to Serato, still using turntables, and so then I had a computer and a sound card and a hard drive and controllers, and still pretty much 10 years later I'm still kind of you know, plugging lots of things together, because in the old days of vinyl I'd have to take a lot with me, but it was records, it was music, and these days all my music fits on there, but I'm still carrying lots of stuff to the gig, so yeah, get a taxi. You don't have to carry it. Right, that's it. I hope that was useful. You didn't really see much of what I was doing, but I will take a quick. I think I'll do a photo and maybe a very quick sweep, like a little video, just so you can see everything that I'm looking at here. But yeah, feel free to comment and ask me any questions, and yeah, I hope that was useful to you, and there's lots more videos coming out. My How to Be a Better DJ in 60 Seconds is going up on a regular basis if you've seen any of those, and of course my YouTube channel, have a lot more content on there. So thanks guys, and see you next time.